Hi, I am Allison Fierce with Fierce 365. I'm here today to talk through subscription management inside Dynamics Marketing. How does it work? How can you make changes to it? What are some of the best practices? So, what we'll do is start at the very top and go look at an email that gets sent by Dynamics Marketing. Um, in my inbox, I have an email with pictures of one of my cats, just testing out certain links. But down at the very bottom of one of those emails that we send through Dynamics Marketing, you should typically see our legal address and a link to unsubscribe. And those are two elements that are required in order to send content through Dynamics Marketing. Doesn't have to be at the bottom, doesn't have to exactly say unsubscribe, but we do need those two components to legally send content through the system. And most of the rules inside Dynamics will help confirm that you've got that in place. If I do click on the word unsubscribe, it pops up what I've done, which is a customized subscription management form that has my company logo, some information. It gets my name and email address just to confirm that it's not somebody else who's been forwarded the message making these changes, and the email topics that someone wants to opt in and out of. Topics being things like, do you want newsletter emails? Do you want promotional emails? Birthday emails is something people might not want in their inbox. And then if you do use other communication methods, things like text messages or push notifications, you can ask if they want that here as well. You'll have to decide to use these preferences when you send content later. But right now, we're just talking about how we make a form like this show up whenever they click that unsubscribe button in Dynamics. So if we pop open Dynamics Marketing, I've got that email that we just opened here in the designer page. It's currently stopped so that I can make edits, and I'm scrolling down through my design to get to that unsubscribe link that comes out of the box. You'll note just above it, we have where my legal address popped into my email. This is using dynamic text. The assist edit button right here, the little brackets, helps you pop in dynamic content like that. So this is actually going to go to our content settings and pull in my address field. The unsubscribe link doesn't look quite like that. It just looks like a hyperlink. But if we click in and use the hyperlink control, we can see that that dynamic text is being used here as well. It's pulling up my subscription center, but specifically it's pulling that from my content settings. So whenever I have a content settings record chosen for my message, it's going to go pull whatever I've got in that address field and whatever I've got in that subscription management field. So for example, if I were about to send now, and of course it's going to tell me I'm stopped, but if I want to send now, it should find out to whom I'm sending and use their preferences to send, but it should also ask me my preferred content settings, which typically you do on the campaign automation, but uh, basically whenever we're sending, you choose this record, the content settings. Out of the box, down here in the marketing templates area are your content settings records. You really do get this one default out of the box, but you can make more. And these records contain your legal address, your social links, and then this link to the subscription center. Because we have the connection out here to this field, we can confirm that we're referencing the right records in Dynamics. If you were just left to your own devices to put a hyperlink in your email, Dynamics couldn't confirm that you'd actually linked them to a real subscription center that you were going to listen to afterwards. Some organizations don't want to offer the ability to opt out, but this just helps tick that box, make sure that we've actually let people opt out. So what we can see here is that the subscription center field contains even more dynamic script. This one is referencing a marketing page. And when you have this default record and you're linking out to that marketing page, uh, you can actually come into marketing pages and you'll get the default marketing page. This is your subscription center page. And on here, you're going to have a reference. It's just a blank page with a reference to a form, the only out of the box form you'll get, which is our default subscription center form. If I pop that open, um, The type is Subscription Center. It's a very basic form. It's really a best practice to come in and add your logo, add some text, and really, if you can put some time into it, offer some subscription topics rather than just having people globally opt out of your emails. So if you are sending birthday emails and they don't like it, they don't opt out of every message you offer. They can just opt out of birthday emails. So what we get here out of the box is a form on a page on your content settings, referenced at the bottom of your emails. And when you send, it's going to give them this ability to check do not email and submit. If I really want to make some changes, spice things up, I can edit this particular out of the box form, or I can build a new one from scratch. Let's just click that new button and skip some of these designs. And out of the box, you will need to choose your form type. It will load like this forever because the form type is missing. I'm going to choose the Subscription Center form type, and that will let me pop open the editor. And it's even more basic than our out-of-the-box form, but I can come in and add some text saying things like, please let us know your preferences. And maybe our company logo. I'll add an image at the top. It's going to use the same image library that you've been using for emails. So if you've gotten started there, you should have the same images available here. You can come in and grab a company logo. I think in this case, our demo environment has our company logo in here. So Hitachi Solutions, please let us know your preferences. Do not email and submit. You'll find if you are in here and you want to make some changes, the submit button, you can change what it says. You can say update my preferences, but you can't necessarily change where it submits to. That's out of our scope. And you can't, with the basic designer, change how that button looks, but you can pop here into the HTML and style your button a little bit more. I think if I come down to the bottom, I can find my text section where I said, please let us know your preferences. And just below that, I can see the submit button block where the submit button type is in, and add some style down here if I want to. I would encourage you to maybe make it your company colors, but as long as somebody can come in and submit their preferences, they can do that here and you'll be better off. To get to that next level where we are offering subscription topics, you will have the ability to add just dynamic fields that you build onto this designer. Maybe I want to get their first name and last name. Let's see, we'll drag last name in here. If I don't see my field right away, I might need to search for it. So first name, drop that on top. And then the topics appear just below fields. So let me close fields and we can see subscription lists. So if I've built some subscription lists, I should see them listed here and I can say, oh, opt in and out of the newsletters, opt in and out of maybe our, pardon me, scroll down, birthday emails, and opt in and out of text messages. These three components here are something that when ticked, will add them to a list of people who want that content. And when unchecked, will remove them from that list if they were present on that list. So let's take a look at how we get options like newsletter and birthdays. Maybe I want to add webinars. So let me leave my brand new marketing form. I'll save it so that we can come back to it later. It's going to have an interesting name. And we will go to the area where you can add those new topics. It's going to be up here under the customers heading. It's called subscription lists, not to be confused with segments. Subscription lists are some of these specific topics that you might show to a customer. So I might tell them you can opt in and out of newsletters and promotions, I might not tell them that I'm building a segment of women on the East Coast who are interested in promotions so that I can give those women on the East Coast a specific offering that I might not give to people who'd opted into promotions but are men on the West Coast. So if I want to add a new subscription list, I'll add it here. Something that some of our older developers and consultants will like is that this is the existing marketing list entity. It's just a very specific type of marketing list. It's a static type contact marketing list. It's the only type we can use for subscription preferences, but let's give it a name. We'll call it webinars. And when we have a list like this, if I save, it's going to contain contacts, and static means that people you place on the list are referenced by the list. It's not searching over and over again for new people. It's just these are the people on the list, these are the people who aren't. And our form that we saw earlier is going to be the one placing people on the list and removing them. So my members area is where we'll see new people who are opted into that topic placed onto the list by our form. And if they opt out, they'll be physically pulled off by that form, that subscription center. So if I wanted webinars here, something that I worked on to be included in my subscription center form, now that I've built the webinars subscription list, here I can actually go back to our form, marketing forms. I think it was this guy right here. And the designer should now have an updated list of subscription lists, and our webinars has shown up, and I can drag that into the page. When somebody ticks the box, they'll be added to that webinars list. How is that useful, you might ask, if you're building segments? You would reference this webinars list in your segments whenever you're sending content. So my segment, again, Women on the East Coast, and is on the webinars list. So it's pulling in that information and combining it with demographic data or behavioral data to get human beings who meet our criteria and also who have opted into the topic. Okay, so I've built a form that I like. Can I include that in my email? Technically, yes, but it takes several more steps to get there. If I like my form, I need to save my content and check for errors. There are, again, required elements for things like this. You'll see I've got a little warning saying if I want to make new contacts when someone submits this form, I really should mark last name as required. In this case, I'm not going to do that. I don't think I really need that piece. Another thing that I'm not necessarily seeing in my subscription center right now is the email field though, and I think that should be required. So I'm going to come down here and grab my email field. Come on. I see Lang email. I don't know if my colleague has customized the email field, but we're just going to add it anyway and make it a required field by scrolling up to required and turning that on. There we go. So first name, last name, email required, and the submit button. Why don't I go ahead and make last name required while I'm here? Okay, saving again. Now, if I really like my form, I can go live with it. And this just means when I'm building other content, I can reference this record. If I'd left it in draft, if I go and am building someplace else, this wouldn't appear on the list. I wouldn't even know it was something somebody was working on because it's not ready yet. Because I have set it to live, I can now go to marketing pages and pop in a new marketing page. We're going to add the new button. We're going to skip all of our templates, just start with a blank page. And here is where we can add the form design element. And in here, I think I need to choose my page type, subscription center, and give it a partial URL. We'll just call this test subscription. I save now. It might let me choose my marketing form. Yep, I can come in and look at because I've chosen the subscription type page, it's going to show me subscription center forms. If I'd chosen just your standard landing page, it would only show me, contact information forms. If I'm, it'll pair whatever form types with the page type. In this case, our form 5RV that we've been working on is now something I can choose, and it'll pop up right here. If you are not seeing the right form, just make sure you've got the right subscription type at the top. Okay, say I am in love with this page. I'm ready to share it in my emails. Now can I link to it at the bottom of my email? You've got a few more steps. So if I save this, and if I were to go mess with the content settings, I would be in trouble because I need to check for errors and go live. No errors were found. We've got everything required for a subscription center. So I'm going to go live with this. And here, once this publishes, we can go to our content settings record. Again, that's down in the marketing templates, content settings, and you can either make the change to your default content settings or you can pop in a new set of content settings. We'll just call this test for today. You can give yourself a legal address. Try to make a real one, but I'm just going to stop there. And now we want to reference that subscription center that we were using. How do I do that? We're going to use the personalization button down here. Actually, no, we're not. We're going to, we're going to go dynamic content, no matching items, static content, marketing page. Bear with me. So what we're doing is we're referencing a record that's not expected to change per user. So it's a static type record. And we're going to that marketing page entity where our form is hosted. We can't just link straight to the form. We need someplace that form is being hosted. It's got to have its own URL. We've got to kind of follow that logic. So we've got the marketing page and we want to choose which marketing page that is live we want to go with. These are all going to be subscription center type marketing pages as well. This is one that I built previously, and I believe this is the one we just worked on. So if I choose this one here, you don't need any special relationship. We want to get the full page URL. So if I click on that, this is going to give us a very lengthy dynamic script, and I can click insert. And now whenever somebody is choosing my content settings record test, it's going to reference that page. And on that page, it's going to reference the form. So the whole loop, but we need the URL of that page in order for people to click on the link and go to that site. Okay, now if I'm using an email, what I would do is choose this set of content settings. Let's just do a basic send. So I'm going to save and close and go live. Don't forget to go live with your content settings record as well. There's so many checks and balances. But if I go live with this record, now I can, on my customer journeys where I'm sending maybe my cat email, let's just do a quick, simple email journey. I can set the audience, where your audience can be one of our segments, or even, fun surprise here, it can be one of our subscription lists if you don't have further segmentation on that group of people. Let's just say we're sending to our webinars group. And we can choose the email that they're going to receive. This is going to look for all live email records. And you'll note I haven't gone in and changed anything for injection molding marketing email, but it's going to reference whatever content settings I've chosen for this customer journey. So if I click save, I can go to the general tab, and that's where our content settings live. By default, it's going to use the default content settings. So if you really just want one perfect content settings record, you can just make all your changes there. But in this case, I want to use good old test that we went live with. And when I click save, My email that gets sent out to this group of human beings will have an unsubscribe link at the bottom, unsubscribe, and when they click on that, it dynamically references the content settings, which dynamically references the URL of the marketing page, which contains the form, which contains the subscription lists that we want to offer. Does it sound complex yet? I hope so, but that should help you get to a point where when I send this message and I click on that unsubscribe link, it goes to a page that I like. I hope this has been helpful, and put any questions you have in the comments below. Thanks.